What's up, y'all? My name is Dumptruck, still, and this is Scott O'Sullivan from Rider Justice, and this is another podcast of Chasing the Ride. Today is all about the ones that promote the events you love to attend, and all of the stories that come with it. We're joined by my friend here, Daymon Woodruff from the Buffalo Chip, and Chip Lile from Four Corners Motorcycle Rally.
Hello, everybody.
And this is really fun for me. I've collected paychecks from everybody at this table.
You're fired.
Ah, shit. Well, I did say in the past it was collected.
I want to talk to them without you for a minute. Compare notes.
La la la. Well, this is fun. I love it. Like we're all involved in the events world in a pretty big way, whether it be presenting sponsor, facilitator, or a vendor, helping run things, so to speak. And so, I mean, let's just get going. Chip, why don't you tell everyone like who you are? You're kind of a small big deal in Durango, Colorado.
Well, they recognize me sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
I'm not sure what for, but yeah.
So you've been a business owner there for how long?
I've been in business in Durango, Colorado for over 25 years now. I've been in the bar business, but of course I was raised in Durango, Colorado, been there most of my life, and decided to put roots down there. And it was really through my businesses, the bar, if you will, that I became involved in the rally, because when there's a rally in your community, there's money to be made as a bar owner.
Absolutely, yeah.
As the rally went through its different life cycles over the last 20-some years, I saw it falter and come and go, and I always felt like the kid with the finger in the dike trying to keep it, going for the community from my angle where I could. And, ultimately after COVID, we found ourselves in a position as businessmen, my partner Trevor and Katie Bird, you know them.
Love them.
You've taken checks from them.
Absolutely.
And if you bought a bike...
It's expensive conversation today.
Yeah. And if you've bought a bike, you probably bought it from Durango Harley. So they're great for that. And my brother's also our partner, but we were approached by Ben and Lynn Knight, of course, Campbell, were the original founders and started the rally with some other people 30 years ago. And they said, hey, look, you guys are community people. You need to take this over and do something with it. So that's kind of how I got started. When you say start in the beginning, I'm like, okay, I was 5. I had a Briggs & Stratton mini bike. Then I had a Honda. I remember it being on fire somewhere in there. So I've been through all the phases too. Yeah.
If you want to set a fire to a Honda, I've got one right there that does not fucking work. You're not working lately. Set fire to that fucking
It'll be
thing.
great content.
Yeah, it's turning into a paperweight. Sorry, Zach.
Everything's content. Everything's content. Well,
So I get, you were talking about community before
Yeah.
we started taping, and I look at the community. For me, I am part of the community, but like you and you even, like, we are behind the scenes, and a lot of the community that most people see is over there, the bikes and the t-shirts and the food and beverage, but the community's big, and it takes a lot of people to pull off any of this stuff.
it does. Like how much staffing do you guys have to use now for Four Corners?
Oh God, year
it's
round.
grown drastically.
Yeah, year round I have a staff, of about 5 people year round in addition to the owners. And as we roll up to the event, as you know, with any event, there's a couple weeks ahead of time you start bringing people on. But when the event is happening, between our staff, volunteers, paid security, I bet there's 100 people running around at any given time, and we're not that big of an event.
And that's also everyone else can have a really good time.
Absolutely.
And it's a business, right, of course,
Yeah.
but that is the goal. If you do your job, you're really helping everyone have you're
Absolutely.
giving juice to the community.
And so, the builders, they do a lot. It's pretty exciting, but yeah, I'd give you guys credit too, sponsors and promoters and people that do this behind the scenes. And I can't build bikes, but I can put on an event. So that's my contribution to the community.
Well, the guys that build
right?
bikes need that. They need the promoters of the world. They need the sponsors of the world. They need the megaphone sometimes.
But I got to say, it's a community. When I met you, for example, when I met you, and now meeting you, I found my people. This is a great business community too.
It's a great way to put it too.
Yeah.
Well, and it's put you on the road a bit. Like you've actually been able to travel some here.
I've
caught you all over the country.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing here now, man?
Yeah, I'm not stalking you.
It's okay. These jeans, they don't
It
lie.
may seem like that.
I mean, it's entertaining, yes, but that's been the other fun part of the community is getting to meet people like you and other sponsors and other promoters. There's it's a club in a way, this little industry. So the community inside the community for me has been like, that's really rewarding to come here and I get to see friends. And then next week I'll get to see you somewhere else in Milwaukee, probably next month.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that part of the community is really fun.
Well, it's cool. And then Four Corners definitely feels like a community event. Like there's a vibe there. It's real welcoming. It's all about going to ride your motorcycle and then enjoying the entertainment that's been organized for you.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love it. And now we've got Daymon over here who has been born into a responsibility that is out of control over at the Buffalo Chip, because that place is, I mean, it's...
Wait, I've never heard of the Buffalo Chip.
Yeah, I know. Where?
Wait, what is
It's
this
a little
place?
place. You should hear about it.
it's
cool. You should
tiny.
check it out.
It's super easy to make everything happen there. I mean, it's a city of its own. I mean,
Right.
the level of production that's required there. I mean, you've been involved in it. I don't know when the Buffalo Chip started. I don't know if you were alive yet, if you got directly born into it. Tell us all about that side.
Yeah, this will be our 43rd year as putting on what's affectionately been known as the best party anywhere.
Yeah.
And it has grown just through pure stubbornness of my father over the years into the largest music festival in motorcycling.
Yeah.
And, you know, in the olden days, families, when they used to make their own clothes and stuff, they'd buy a bunk of fabric and they'd make all their clothes from it, and the family would get known around the community by the clothes that they wore. Well,
Right.
I feel like our clothes that I inherited was the Good Times. Our bulk of fabric is Good Times with music and motorcycles, and it's been a hell of a ride. Like you said, you've been part of it.
Man, long time.
Yeah.
I mean, that was so many stories, so many lifelong friendships, a lot of personal growth. You know, a lot of apologies that have been made. Like, I mean, there's fireworks, there's drama. Like, I mean, it's its own universe, and it's really cool. If you get a chance to be a part of it, like, it really becomes something special. No matter like,
I got to tell you, the first time I went there, I was taken back. Yeah, but I would say, after all the times I've been there, it's still that community, right? You can call people if you have a problem.
Yeah.
There's people there. It's you meet people,
They
and
work
you camp
really
next to
damn
the same
hard.
guys every year, and that's the community, man. That's good stuff. So they've really set the bar, right, in a lot of ways. So.
And it's really just
You gotta
about
tiger
giving
by the
people
tail.
the freedom. I mean, the people are the magic of the
Yeah.
place. And,
Absolutely.
And it's really just, I mean, 43 years ago, it came out of a rebellious spirit. And, you know, the community in town wasn't so friendly in Sturgis. They kicked them out of City Park. The bikers said, you know, we're going to burn your outhouses. People in the city said, we don't want you anymore. Police made it unfriendly. And all the Buffalo Chip Rod Woodruff did was create a place for people to go hang out and do what they wanted to do. And really, everybody here, as we know, just have the space to be who you are and who you want to be, and listen to some music, have a common thread of riding, chasing the ride. Then you'll just create the magic themselves. And I see Four Corners doing that now. And
Well, I got to tell you, you know, Four Corners, we're really trying to be kind of that next version of what these things look like. And I think, you know, taking a page from what you're doing, I see a younger demographic. I see different brands there. I see, you know, they're excited about different things. And I think like the Buffalo Chip is morphed really well with that. You know, I bring my stepdaughter and her friends, and they love it. And they're not so much big biker people. They just have such a good time with everything. And yeah, of course, I think a lot of rallies are trying to emulate a similar experience. So to your credit, I think, yeah, we'd like to be similar to you guys, sure. And I think a lot of rallies feel that's a good format, the mix of the music and the camping and
It's a point you were talking about. Like, there's no competition. All the boats, you know, it's the rising tide, right? And
Absolutely.
The more people love doing these events, the bigger and better they get, right? And the more talent you can get to come, and the chance for you guys to grow it in a way that is meaningful and then fun for everybody and memorable. Like you said, all these memories, 43 years of memories, which I do want to touch a little bit on that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, maybe there's stuff you can't talk about. Maybe think about like statute of limitations. Like maybe it's past.
lawyer speak coming out.
yeah, that's right. But,
what are they, 7 years ago or what?
I'd have to check up there. Yeah. But it is. It's about, you know, these, like you said, your stepdaughter loving going up there and just, it's not about
and making
necessarily
friends,
riding.
right? And making friends. And I was just on the phone with one of the buddies I've met through this whole process. He's a player in the industry. And we really were planning our trips this summer around, we're going to go to Daytona, Milwaukee, Sturgis, Four Corners. That's the kind of talk people have. And so I don't know that we really compete with each other. I think it really complements each other.
Right. That's what I was saying. Yeah,
when a lot of these events are really doing a good job, it lifts the whole industry, like you said, right? And you're seeing different people come to these things. It's great, I think.
Well, and this event here, even, I mean, you're talking about just lifting spirit in the culture of motorcycling, and that's what they're doing here as well.
Yeah.
Is before you ever ride a motorcycle, before you even buy a motorcycle, you see a motorcycle, right? So you have to start getting inspired, and so what we're doing, and ultimately is inspiring people by showing how fun it is, showing what the masters can do, what you can do, how you can customize this experience to yourself. Yeah, or your bike, a physical physical piece. And that's why we're here specifically at this show with Scott, and Scott doing a great job of it.
Great job, yeah.
And I just want to, you're talking about bigger community. One way that we lift in the community and the spirit here is we are giving away an award tomorrow, which is
it's the second year you guys done the award, right?
Pinstriped not a motorcycle, a pinstriped guitar, customized by, let's see if I can get it right, Stan from Gunslinger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And if you
got it.
if you don't know Gunslinger,
I don't have my cheat sheet.
Wait, where am I?
Gunslinger is out of Colorado, and if you like Harley Davidson CVOs, they're the ones that paint them. So it's a pretty big deal, actually.
Yeah.
That's rad.
That's awesome.
But that's why we're here to support this event, I think, is just the spirit of the community and the culture, right?
The other part I think is cool about the community these days is there's so many different things going on at places like the Buffalo Chip or the Four Corners or even here that are kind of off motorcycle in a way. We got a great car show going on, there's things like that. Just kind of the ancillary things. I mean, I always love the stunt shows, the Ives brothers and everybody and all that. But I really enjoyed, the actual bike show that we had at your place last year, and they had really beautiful bikes on display with the photography, and that thing, that's top-notch stuff, right? That's really cool stuff.
Yeah, Motorcycles as Art is a really great exhibit.
Yeah, I think that is, that really lifts the industry too. So, I mean, supporting artists, supporting builders.
Absolutely.
I'd be happy if our rally turned out to be a builders rally, quite frankly, where just a lot of builders really liked it. And, we're branching out into the other groups. We like the women's groups. We host some of them. We have the Native American, and you help us with that home run this year on the Missing Person Indigenous ride. That was, great part of the community. I know you guys do similar stuff up your way, and I think that for us, as people who do what we do, there's a big payback I see for that, I mean,
one of the things I've always said about the motorcycling community, and we all grew up in it in different ways, is it doesn't matter what you ride, it's still cohesive but fractured, but no matter what, if somebody has a sick cat, they're going to raise money for the sick cat, right? They're all going to get together and take care of the
that's
thing.
a cowie. Sorry, bro, you go.
Exactly.
Go get money from somewhere else. I have no heart.
That's a Siamese cat. No, fuck that. But anyway, it's more. It is that community that it could be through builders, it could be through, whether it's the painters, the saddle stitching, it's the leather guys, it's everybody, and they all really do come together to try to help each other on anything.
When I meet him, the first thing that comes to mind is like, oh my God, do you need some help with something? Like, can I help you somehow?
Don't ask that question.
I know, right?
Come up with something.
That's right.
Now that you speak of it.
Yeah, right. But it's really, and jokingly I say that, but even if I just ask some people to work with him in the community, they're helpful. They're not playing keep away with their things, right?
That's right.
You do well, you do well.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Do well, you do well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a uniqueness.
Yes.
Especially when schedules allow for it, because you never really are in competition. But if you can create an event that's good enough to make people's dream sheet for their yearly ride.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, now you've all done something together separately.
Yeah.
And then seeing some of the crossover support, having the Buffalo Chip out here at Colorado Motorcycle Expo, that's a move. Pay attention to those moves. That's people supporting other people. You guys are doing something important. We need to help you do that because we can, and that's why. And it's a really cool thing to see, and I love the diversity and the community that's really starting to happen. not just the types of motorcycles that they ride, but the events are allowing for a non-endemic audience to get introduced to the motorcycle world as well. And there's nothing we need more in our lives than more riders.
Spark that interest.
I mean, it's all a big part of it when you throw such a great show with such huge names on stage. And that's exactly where we're heading at Four Corners as well. I say we because I get to MC a bunch of stuff for it, you know? And like creating that level of entertainment, we're celebrating our lifestyle, but it's not like an invite-only party as much anymore.
No, it's not.
And there definitely was a vibe there for decades where that was a thing. And I like people. I don't know if you know this or not. I'm kind of a fan, you know? And to be able to have like just a much more inclusive environment where you can just enjoy motorcycles. We might talk shit about each other's bikes. I guarantee you we'll talk shit about each other's motorcycles. Especially if we like them. If I really like your bike, hell's coming with me. You know, I'm gonna find something, I'm gonna draw something. I don't know, but I mean, it's just really, it's special to be a part of, whether you're a spectator, a guest, a promoter, where you're involved on any level, and it's cool. You do the work. It is behind the scenes. No one sees what goes on like behind the magic curtain. That stuff doesn't just happen. Like, it's a lot of planning.
It's a lot, and it's like in our organization, we've kind of started identifying different sets of customers that we deal with as promoters. We have our general admission customers, you know, the people that are the bulk of where the revenue comes from in that capacity. And then we have these vendors and those kind of people that follow these events. And they're actually customers of ours too. You know, they have expectations and they're a community, right? So we kind of deal with them differently. We have a person that then we have sponsorship, you know, those kind of folks and other people that visit us, and that, you know, that's kind of my customers as an owner. Those are kind of my customers to take care of, and they all have expectations when they come to an event. You're not just here to work, you know, it's fun to see everybody and have fun. And so there's a lot of going on in this community.
Sorry, keep talking. He's getting kicked out.
Again.
This is our way of firing you.
All at once.
We wanted to talk to you today.
We brought you
5 o'clock yet?
And it's all
You're not allowed to touch a microphone ever again.
That's right.
You may leave tail between thy legs. Shave your face.
Stay tuned for part 2.
It gets explosive.
You don't want to miss it.
I love it. So this year is your 31st year. Your being Four Corners. What do we have going on that's different from the past? What are we looking forward to?
Well, if you haven't been down to Durango for the Four Corners in a while, last year we officially moved the ground zero of the event to the Durango La Plata County Fairgrounds. So we're in Durango now. So we are doing that for the second year in a row now. We're bringing back the hill climb, which is pretty exciting for us.
Awesome.
Because we're doing it at a ski area. And I just skied on that run last Sunday that they're gonna go up on. So if you watch the video over at the Rider Justice booth, you'll see that content. It's pretty cool. The thing that we're really proud about is that Missing and Murdered Persons Indigenous Ride. So that is gonna be a tradition from now on. Last year's the first year. The Ives brothers will be back. I talked them into unpacking the launch pad and the Ball of Death too this time. So we're gonna have the full Ives brother package. I don't know if there's gonna be tie rope stuff. I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. Funny story, I'll tell you about that. I heard about that stunt months ahead of time. I thought he was joking.
Oh, no.
I thought he was joking.
No.
Then I get my Buffalo Chip email. I'm like, damn. He's really gonna do it.
Do you know what? Did you see it?
I don't know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it doesn't.
Time out.
Yeah, time out.
This is our industry.
This is us, exactly.
At least it sounds good.
Yeah. We got it all going.
I'm late to the
Wet t-shirt contest.
Interview over.
Yeah.
We didn't know we were up against that. Yeah.
I mean, no wonder. Feel so out of place.
It's really funny. They asked if I wanted to be the one of the judges for the wet t-shirt contest, and I'm like, Yeah, my inner 16-year-old says yes, but no, thank you.
But my
I
wife
appreciate it.
says
yeah,
no.
like, I know that's sure that's going to be on brand right now. Yeah.
There was a time for that.
How
in my
could I
life,
do
and
this?
it
How
was
could I do
great.
this?
Glad I
I'll
have
trade your
those
hat.
yeah,
They're nice.
exactly.
So the Ives brothers, you want to try it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
get in
let's
there.
try it.
How we
What
doing
do you
on
think?
audio?
So-
Should we move forward? We're good?
Okay.
All right, let's
So-
do it.
So speaking of community, getting to travel around and show my face at things, I made some friends, the Ives brothers, you know these guys. I was at an event last spring and one of them was telling me about a stunt he was going to do at the Buffalo Chip where he jumps over a tightrope walker.
What?
At the music arena venue they
Oh
have
my
at
God.
the Buffalo Chip. I kind of thought he was joking about it because we were at the RV,
Yeah.
they were having some beers. I
Yeah,
thought they were all
yeah.
joking about it and just kind of bullshitting. Well, a couple months later, I get an email from the Buffalo Chip, and sure enough,
It's official.
Ives brothers and the
Oh my God.
tightrope. I'm like,
Kyle Ives jumped
all right,
over
I'm not going to miss
Blake
this.
Melinda.
Wow.
My question is, and because pushing the limits has definitely been a thing. We've been there together doing it at the Buffalo Chip and at Camp Zero.
Yeah.
Has that always been a theme? Has the Buffalo Chip always tried to find some way to do something
Spectacle.
like a spectacle, not just an amazing event, but like a real spectacle? Has that always been a thing, or did that start?
I think it's ingrained in us.
Yeah.
I mean, just from the beginning, risk is where we came from.
Right, that's our
Taking
commonality.
a risk. You're the underdog, making a place for the black sheep who were
That's a
not
good
even
way to-
wanted. Where what is it? The community. Yes. So even the rally itself started with Pappy Hoyle
Right.
running through a wall of fire, and we've had.
And now you pay homage with that.
We've had we pay homage to that. I smashed through a wall of beer or Monster Energy
A lot of it.
Yeah.
during the rally. Kyle Ives jumps over Blake Walenda, who's the great grandson of the Flying Walendas.
Yeah, I would
Carl
love to hear that
Walenda.
pitch. Is it like, all right, so hear me out.
No, we can do this.
yeah.
So if Easy
There were some
Rider and Barnum and
questions
Bailey
about-
got together,
Some questions. Yeah.
About the struggle of getting there, which nobody sees, of course.
Yeah,
Not
of
just
course.
these guys life-threatening to
Practicing,
do this
yeah.
for
Right.
entertainment purposes, but
Uh-huh.
there's the whole or is this cable gonna pull the stage down? Whatever.
Right,
Really
yeah,
tension
yeah.
it, whatever. But yeah, it's always been a part of. We want to make a spectacle. Motorcycles, even one of the jumps I'd like to see recreated, maybe you can do it this year, is in 1989, Rob Foley jumped on probably a Dyna through a flaming shit house right in the middle of the amphitheater. And it sticks
Now I know
out
why he wants
because
me to
we
do
had,
it.
it's on YouTube. It was a video that was made, and then later on they just grew and grew and grew from there. So it started from simply running through a wall of flames.
I knew there was a
To-
minute there to where the
Not-
actual stunt show, because it's also like what you've done, what promoters do is you give people a place, right?
Yeah.
You give the unsung zeros and the outcasts and the land of misfit toys. This is where we get to go get together, make a bunch of bad decisions in the name of fun, and
Watch people jump things.
like as an MC, I give them permission to enjoy themselves, and in an action, that's what that does. Whenever you create that spectacle, all bets are off now, and it sets such a killer tone. And it goes for 10 straight days, that tone. So, you always have to re-up it. And, you guys have created other things that are extra, not just amazing talent, with everything from country to Snoop Dogg's still my favorite show.
It's rowdy as hell, too.
Yeah.
But it's also
But it's
tame.
okay.
It's okay and tame
It's
at
like,
the same
rowdy
time,
doesn't
right?
mean that it's not normal. It just
Yeah.
depends on who's around. If
Yeah,
there's a
so
bunch of
it's-
rowdy people around, that's normal.
So if you haven't been to one of these events,
Yeah.
the Shipper, the Four Corners, any of these things, take a second look, because honestly, it's not what you think, and it's a lot of fun.
And everybody's happy to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
everyone
They're
is
all
happy.
there, happy, they're all on the same page, right?
That's true. You don't want to
Yeah.
scare people off with the idea of rowdiness, because what it was in
Yeah.
the 1980s and the stigma
different
has
definition.
still stuck
It does,
around
yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
And now it's just, use the word tame. I like to say measured risk. So
Right,
we've all grown up and matured, and the events have as well.
Wait, last time I did that was this scar. We can do this differently.
Somebody told me one time it's like having a party at your parents' house and getting away with it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So one of the things that makes y'all's events really unique and stand out is it's not just the party. The areas, the location geographically where you are epicenters of some of the most historic, nostalgic, absolutely gorgeous, untamed parts, windy parts of the United States, if not, motorcycle enthusiast locations all over the world. That's such a big advantage. So like everyone that comes to your event, yes, they expect a great party and they're gonna get one, but they're there to ride their motorcycles.
Yeah.
And that's not always a dynamic. Like you don't go to, and I love Daytona Bike Week, but you don't go to Daytona Bike Week to go ride your motorcycle. Like unless you're a drag racer, because that's just straight lines all over the place. How fast can I get to the next party, And so being able to have that extra quality, which is really the soul of it, like it just adds a bunch to it. So are there other shows out there that you see are in good places where you might be able to get similar type of riding that are happening? I know that, Smoky Mountain just had their first event last year and it looked like it went off, and there's great riding all over there as well.
Sounds like you'd know best. You hit like 40 events
kidding.
last year.
He should be the tour guy.
I'm not being interviewed today.
What's the PA one?
No, Laconia is the oldest motorcycle rally, I believe. Last year was the 100th. And that is in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Yeah, and that is another ride that the party is going to happen. It's not really produced. It's like a part of the area, lake life, like crazy Northeasterners. That's what that vibe is.
It's something that, you talk about the motorcycles. I mean, this is what brought us all together.
Right.
And on our marketing team in our meetings, we remind ourselves a lot, like, don't forget why they're coming.
Yeah, that's
it's
right.
about the motorcycle, right?
And
in your area, the rides are amazing. Our area, the rides are amazing. I've been to those rallies where there's not a lot of riding to be done, and I think, when I think about a guy deciding what rallies he's going to go to this summer and he picks me and you, like, I am flattered, right?
Yeah.
Because that guy doesn't get a lot of time off from work. He doesn't have a big budget to go to all these events like you and I do. And he doesn't have a chance to see those things. So this is a big deal for him to go to a Sturgis or to a Durango and ride those roads.
And be with his people and be with her people.
And I don't know about you, but like some of the best times is, I think this is why we like riding in a group, is we really don't talk to each other much while we're doing it.
I'm here to ignore you at about 100 miles
It's kind of a perfect group sport, right? But the ride is what got us all there, right? One way or the other, right? And I just remind everybody, you guys are good about that up in Sturgis, that, man, don't forget about the motorcycle part, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to avoid talking about the freeways, because nobody's talking about having to ride the freeways there, because we actually have good riding.
Right.
It's like you're talking about Iron Mountain Road or the Needles. You're like that.
It took me, I've been going to Sturgis since 2009, and granted I was super inundated with work my first times there, but there came a time to where I was on a microphone working for the motor company, looking around going, I'm supposed to be that asshole holding a beer right now. Like, I am not doing the right thing. Like, grateful for what I was doing at the moment, looking forward to changing it in the following year. And I did. And I think that may have been the first year that we worked together, because it was just kind of available and I was around, sleeping on the ground somewhere. Roller derby was there. That's what it was. You had the women's roller derby at the Buffalo Chip, and I'm a former women's roller derby announcer. So that's how I ended up being over there and working with you guys during that. And it's just, being on that side is everything. If you can find a way to take time to like receive all of the work that goes into those shows, I mean, with the riding included, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's contagious, it's addicting, it's all of those things. And the roads that are out in your area, like, it's out of control. It took me probably 3 years with a good amount of time on my hands to actually ride all of them. And I still haven't really ridden all of them, but the key ones that I've shown interest, let me just go. I know what this is I know how great this is gonna be. When I get more time, I'll just get to go get lost for a while. But I mean, it takes that much time, and that's like such a great thing to keep people coming back. Not only is it the work you put in, but it's where you at.
And the other cool thing about going to like a rally event is, even if you are kind of solo, it's pretty easy to team up with some other people and tag along on rides, or if you're on the road, there's still community, right? Even if you're
Well, I mean,
alone.
that's part of what you guys do as well. You organize these group rides together. A lot of them are for charity because that's part of our culture. But I mean, if you don't know anybody, well, then sign right on up and get ready to meet some folks, because you're gonna have to stop and eat, have a beer, and get some gas.
The whole charity thing has been a big component for everybody, I think, here, and
important.
I'm really proud of that. I think we've done some really good things.
One of the things we're going to kick off this year with you guys is charity breakfast.
Yes,
I love
a biker breakfast.
Yeah, and so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
This past fall, I talked to Trevor about. I'm like, we got to do.
When I caught wind, I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and I like that it's breakfast. Right?
It's easy.
People need breakfast, especially if you're doing it like out. Where would you guys do it from?
I think we're going to do it in the shelter in the fairgrounds.
Yeah, in the fairgrounds we have a kitchen there to do it right there. And
yeah, because you got the campers that are right there on the baseball field, which is cool.
And then done, and we're not trying to deal with booze. We're not trying to deal with any of that stuff.
Right.
And
just do it easy, down and dirty. Yeah,
exactly.
I think those things work well. You know.
Yeah,
it's easy
and it helps
spend 10,
engage
$20.
the community, and you know, like I said earlier, you know, this time it won't be for a kitten. It'd be, you know, hopefully for a motorcycle relief project or something else like that.
I know a guy in an exhaust company you can talk to.
I don't know about an event that's, you know, relevant that doesn't have a really good charity component.
Agreed.
Right.
Agreed.
Well, a really good one is Flying Piston benefit that you guys have. And that charity event is really cool, and it raises money for proper things, and it's contributed to by leaders and innovators in our community. There's nothing but people you have to look up to whenever you see who is contributing to that.
We can't do a ride without a charity component. We got the Biker Bells, the Legends ride, the Rusty Wallace ride. I mean, we've raised millions of dollars for local charities there in the Black Hills. And
it's a great way to do it too.
Yeah. The only way to make yourself feel more important in life is by being part of something bigger than yourself.
Absolutely.
And
totally.
That's just an easy way to do it.
Yeah.
You know, help others.
Yeah, it's healthy.
It's good ROI, you know.
Listen, there we go. That's the promoters episode, bro. We're on script here.
It attracts more of the same thing. You know? It attracts more of the same thing. And certainly as a promoter, it's good for business, but it's more than that, right? Yeah. It's what our customers expect on one hand, right? They have an expectation of, you know, this is what they do in their communities. So I think they would expect us to do this. So part of as a commitment to my customers that they can trust us, you know, that, we are doing those things that you find important or priorities for you too, right? It's kind of, I don't know that you should do business without it, quite frankly.
Well, it's a lot of leading by example, because the example that you set there, not just for young people, but for people new to our community that may have an old ass stigma that's not true anymore. Yeah. Even the people they have that stigma against have always raised funds for charity. If that doesn't tell you that you're in a community that gives a fuck, then I'm not sure what's supposed to. To be selfless is to be human. And whenever you take your passion and you're so proud of your selflessness, because not only did you do good for someone else, but your dopamine just went off and you helped yourself out in that same way, you put a patch on your vest. Why? I'm proud to share. I'm proud to give. This is the kind of person that I am.
I think
this
everybody,
is the kind of show that I run.
The entire biker community is that way. I think if you could say there's a brand for the biker community, you know, there's some stereotypes certainly, but you know, to a T, everyone knows that this community does good things. They do a lot of good things.
They do. And I mean, that's part of the fun. You look forward to it. I mean, no one goes, hey, were you going to go to the toy run without a toy? You're looking forward to getting together. Go get some floppy bunny, throw it on the back of your stinking motorcycle.
Well, we have bars at the toy run too. At the end of the ride, we have a bar. You can bring your wallet too.
It's all about options.
The toy run will take the wallet.
Things available. There's really the name of the game. They'll tell you where the ATM as well.
Yeah, we can't plug the toy run enough.
So one of the things I think is really impressive to me about these events is the food and beverage side of things. And I mean, that's really most of the work, in my opinion, from the local staff. A lot of the music production, you have a smaller in-house team that directs a lot of hired guns that are, you know, seasoned veterans. But the food and beverage, running all of that around,
I have questions of him of that at the scale that they do it at.
Right.
It's insane, right? I don't know how many bartenders you have on a Friday night.
Do you even know how many footprints you have that have a bar on your property?
I mean, how do you know, it's pretty, I know how you do it, but how do you do it?
Right.
Yeah, getting 500 seasonal employees is sometimes a challenge.
500 seasonal employees.
Oh my God.
Yeah, when you ramp up from 20 year-round.
How many of those are
500
returns?
seasonals. Oh, a good portion. Yeah, we've.
I mean,
At least
Are
we
you
have
like the
that
largest
level.
employer in the county at that
I was
time?
gonna say. Right?
I don't know. That's
Might
a good
be.
question. Yeah.
that's a
Where,
good
where do you,
stat.
where do you set them up? Where do they all like? That's got to be all the logistics of just getting
We
it there.
dirt
yeah.
bag it together.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
you
what I was
have to
wondering.
because
That's what I was
there's no
wondering.
It's
there's
netted
no
off in the bag.
accommodation.
Yeah,
Ask
yeah,
this
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We made him sleep in the dirt the first year, right?
Yeah.
Luckily, I was a
Yeah,
dirt
right.
bag. It worked out. The second
yeah.
year, I was like,
Yeah.
do you mind if I don't know, I'm working.
No. There's no dirt
Officially,
there.
could
No,
I
no. It's
grass.
all
Could I have
that's
grass?
right, yeah.
And
No,
yeah,
actually,
pavement at
he
this point.
actually asked to sleep in
Yeah.
the dirt. Yeah.
We got a pool, we got a pond.
But no, yeah, there's no way to make accommodations for
right
I was
behind
gonna
Brady's
say,
van.
yeah. Where do they? Yeah.
because actually the customer is the most important. And as soon as you start making
Yeah.
accommodations for all the employees,
Yeah,
you take those away from your
Right.
visitors.
Yeah, and then you don't have any visitors.
Hey, we're there to work, straight up. Like,
Yeah,
it's
right.
not like,
Earn and
oh,
work.
well, we gotta
Yeah.
go. Man,
Yeah.
you're stoked. You're also having a family reunion. It's not just the customers. You actually are allowed to have a good time. That is
Yeah.
the job.
Yes.
If you're not having fun at your job
Awesome.
as a part of these rallies, then you are affecting the room negatively. You're fired.
Right. Yeah.
Put a smile on that stupid face of yours. Let's go have a great time together. Like,
Well, what I notice about their operation that's so impressive is that, there's never lines, there's a good variety of stuff. And what I've noticed about what they do is, obviously some of that's in-house, but it looks like they're spreading the wealth too, So I'm curious about how you guys do that a little bit, meaning there's people in the community of Sturgis working for them and taking advantage of the opportunity as well. So
Right.
that's a big part of doing these events, is making sure that you lift all the boats in the harbor,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Not just your stuff, but if
That's
you can
right.
get some food vendors to help you, and the kids doing something to raise some money for their stuff, we try to do that too. And that seems to bring another demographic that supports those people, right? So diversity in food and beverage, sure, but in overall content, there's stuff for everybody. That's really kind of what people expect now. That's the challenge for us, you guys, you've set the bar pretty high for every year coming up with new and greater stuff, and so that's a challenge, I think, for everybody in the industry.
I don't know that I see it as setting the bar really high. I think it's another example of showing people what you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's not like, okay, if you don't do this, it's not a real motorcycle rally, because that's not the vibe. I mean, if it was, you wouldn't give a shit about supporting this event. So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you can do this. Why? Because this, whether you know it or realize it or not, is a family operation.
Listen, if these guys figured out how to do a tightrope,
He's stuck.
I can
Yeah,
figure out.
yeah.
I gotta be able to do something.
They were.
Exactly.
So it inspires you. Yeah, you're right. Like if they can do it, why can't we? Right?
Hey, Trevor. Hear me out.
yeah, sure.
Hold my beer.
Exactly.
First, we're gonna get some fire.
But let's stay on this subject. What do you think is the most dangerous thing you guys have accomplished at any of the events over the years?
How about the most thrilling?
What's that?
The most thrilling.
Yeah.
Instead of
thrilling.
Dangerous. Yeah.
In 2013, Clint Ewing tried to break the world record in
firewall.
a tunnel of fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we didn't know how to do this. We'd seen it on the internet,
Yeah.
and went through a few different iterations. First cardboard doused in diesel gasoline, and I think that's probably what it ended up. But Clint Ewing, he only made it 2/3 through before his gloves melted to
Oh my
his
God.
skin, and
Oh my
his
God.
carburetor,
Yeah.
no oxygen,
goodness.
and just came shooting out the side. So
Yeah.
that was one example of a risk that
Yeah.
was miscalculated,
Yeah.
right?
Not
The
so
measurements
limited.
were a little bit off.
So
That makes
yeah,
risk.
that was part of the CMT series. So that's out there on CMT. Kid Rock show out there. That's pretty much a guarantee, though. There's no risk with Kid Rock nowadays. There's going to be a huge audience. So, but yeah, for stunts,
Yeah.
that's probably it.
I'm curious. Like you talked about what was kind of something crazy to
Yeah.
do. Like behind the scenes, there's so many things that have to come into place for just one thing to happen right. Like, what is one thing that you didn't think you were going to pull off, but you did, and it worked out great? Like, what was one of those risks you thought, like, this is a risk, and this might not work? Like, what? share
Snoop
some-
Dogg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg was a
And it
big
was
risk.
such a solid move.
Yeah, because nobody done that in the industry. It was a real turning point, and it was a nail biter because when you announced it, it wasn't culturally aligned necessarily.
Right.
And so, but there was a lot of
I think they came to
apprehension
find out that it was, though.
leading up to the night. And
It was
it
pensive.
was like, whoa, everybody's good mood, good vibe,
Yeah.
smiles on everybody's faces. There was
I
no
looked around
negative.
the whole
Yeah,
time.
that's awesome.
I just looked at people because the people that would stereotypically, or that we actually heard negative connotations about the show and him specifically, they were dancing.
And if
They
you showed
stayed
up,
to the end.
and if you showed up out of curiosity, you left a
Stayed.
Snoop
Let
Dogg
go, man.
Hell yeah.
Right, yeah.
It was like you changed minds, and when people were like, "Oh no, that's not culturally relevant." Man, I fucking love this shit. Welcome to cultural relevance.
Snoop Dogg's a great example of how the demographic extends past motorcycles,
Oh, yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
you may not know this, but a couple of the girls that dance for Snoop Dogg also bartend at Sturgis, right?
Yeah.
So these things cross over all sorts of stuff, you know? And like,
But it also shows you like where the music's coming from too, right? So like the entertainment that has been super common and well known, definitely still has a place there, but time has continued to move forward. So you've got 90s music that's showing up.
Yeah.
And time only allows for more of that to come, and that makes it exciting.
yeah,
You
and I
have
think-
to change.
Yeah, it's
Right,
inevitable.
that's right. It can't always be.
You have to change, you have to make
insert name
mistakes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for me, like you, my face lights up when we pull off something I didn't
Yeah.
think we were gonna pull off, and
Yeah.
you look around and people are like losing their minds, they're having such a good time. That's all I need, man. That's great.
Turn it on you. The same question.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
What's-
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think just pulling off our rally for the first 2 years was a pretty
alive,
big
yeah.
step.
Yeah.
But what I'm really proud of is we were able to do what we said we were going to do. And for people like you, you know, I hope we met, you know, our commitments and our promise to do what we're going to do. And so what's really rewarding for me has been kind of the similar thing, the feedback after our event when I go somewhere and they're like, oh yeah, I heard it was great. I can't wait to get down there sometime. That's really rewarding for me because like you know, I'm buried in something while the event's going on. I got 2 radios on me, or you know, somebody wants their check, or you know, who knows what's going
you're
on.
deep in the weeds.
Snoop
You have
Dogg's,
no idea what's
you know,
going
Snoop
on.
Dogg's. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
But you know, to really sit back and hear that people had a good time, and yeah, that makes it really worthwhile for me. I'm an organizer of another event that has nothing to do with motorcycles. It's the same thing. It's just cool to see people having fun and know you had a hand in stirring that pot up a little bit.
Right.
Just pulling it off, like you said,
Yeah.
is key. Because it builds trust in you
Yeah.
to do it again.
Yes.
Right.
So even if you're taking risks, you also have, even if it's just 10% taking a risk on
Yeah.
something new, and you're able to pull that 10% off, that other 90% was comfortable
Yeah.
for
Right,
everybody,
yeah.
including you. You
Yeah.
know you can do that. I'm going to show up because I know they can do this 90%, and maybe they'll be less
Yeah, I'll give that
judgmental.
10% a chance.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
give it.
yeah.
So they're just the consistency.
I think
of
La
it.
Plata is an example of that for Four Corners. Whenever you guys moved
Yeah.
or opened that activation last year for the 30th
Yeah.
anniversary and pulled it off, going, okay, so this is something
And
that
for
we
the
can
viewers,
build on.
You're talking about the fairgrounds.
Yeah,
Fairgrounds,
fairgrounds.
yeah.
And for the viewers, what happened was for 30 years, basically, the town of Ignacio, Colorado, which is home of the Southern Ute Indian tribe, and of course, Midnight Horse Campbell is Native American, and he was the senator back in the 90s from Colorado.
Yeah.
And so there's a big motorcycle community in that part of the world in our county as well. But it was a big risk for us to walk away from a venue that had been hosting it for 30 years,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
And go down into a place, a community who had been shunning the event for many years and kind of had run it off.
Yeah.
Right.
But through the goodwill of the business community and my partners, you know,
Doing what you said you were going to do.
and saying like, you know, we will have the security there, right? We will have the policies and the things in place if there's a problem, how to deal with it, and to deal
Right.
with it to the satisfaction of the authorities, whether it's the sheriff or the police or whatever the case may be. And so that, that's the stuff for me, the stage we're at in
Yeah.
the rally's 30 years old, but no one handed us a blueprint when we took over.
Right, yeah.
It
There's
was
no
dead.
manual.
It was dead. Like there was
Yeah.
nobody, it was good, right?
Yeah.
And so there was no manual. And so just kind of get permits in place. And unlike the Chip, they have their dedicated venue, right?
Right.
We're still trying to find a home like that,
Right.
right? And we've tried to find it, we're still looking, and we hope to stay where we're at as long as we can. And if we're successful, And history shows us that we can do a 25,000, 30,000 person event in our county. Then I'm going to need the fairgrounds anyway, and everyone else anyway, and all the hotels probably too. But yeah, I think our long-term goal is much of that sandbox, like at Buffalo Chip, where you can play.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That's a really fair description.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's actually sand in the sandbox at Bikini Beach. All right.
That's right.
It's true.
A rope swing and a stage at Bikini Beach.
Any
and
bikes
sand.
flying off and just mounting them, getting them started again.
I have questions about your insurance. We can do that off.
Yeah.
Who's your
this,
carrier?
You should talk to this guy.
Who's your attorney?
So I know you went to a whole bunch of events because I saw you at a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
Did you get to attend shows you weren't working this last year? And if you did, what was it and what was your favorite?
I really didn't. I mean, other
That
than
happened.
this show and the Donnie Smith show, go to Minneapolis
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that. And I haven't made it down to Four
Yeah.
Corners since it's been revived. I used to
Yeah.
live in Durango.
Okay, yeah.
When they were not so favorable
Oh, yeah?
of it, yeah. But yeah, mostly shows.
Yeah.
And no other events. I haven't made it out to Smoky.
It's rad. It's just good to ride down there. Where did you get to ride this last year?
In the hills.
Yeah, I mean, that's a terrible place to force yourself to ride for like
Yeah.
2 straight months.
Well, it doesn't get old.
No. No. I mean, how would it?
Yeah.
I mean, they're that great.
Yeah.
They really are.
Black Hills.
Yeah. For those. Yeah.
Well, and you guys, listen, if you can't make it to my event, you better. But if you can't, look us up when you're in town, because the rides there are the rides. They're bucket list rides for a lot of guys. You get people flying from Europe to go to events like Sturgis and ride the $1 Million Highway in our backyard. So, I always tell all of our friends, if you're in town, we even like to go ride those rides whenever we can too, So we're lucky to where we
This is
live.
not a chore.
Right.
It's amazing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the mountains right there.
Yeah, it
The
is
La Platas.
Yeah.
We haven't even mentioned any of this. So, what are the bars and restaurants you own in town?
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. I own the world famous El Rancho Tavern,
Nice.
which is in downtown Durango.
Yep.
And he remembers me
Yeah.
now. But I've also have a couple other bars. I got a pool hall there called The Garage. And yes, we do know the people in Milwaukee who own The Garage there. I've just recently met them in the biker community, straight up,
Cool.
right? And then I own a cocktail bar called the Oxford. And the bar that's kind of in the community more is the Goose Bar and Eatery, which is at the Harley Davidson dealership.
Yeah, right across,
Durango, Colorado.
right, yeah.
And my stepson and I have a little burger joint there.
Awesome.
And it's right there. It's kind of a seasonal thing, but it's right there at the dealership in the parking lot.
It's a killer footprint.
It's a great little place.
yeah.
When you go there, I mean, you could be there for a while.
Yeah.
And you don't really get to say that about dealerships a whole lot. You're there to buy stuff, have it installed, maybe have a beer, shake a hand, then go somewhere. But I mean, on the property itself, you have the bike parking right up front. You have the vendor game has definitely stepped up in the last few years, and like everybody's worthwhile to see.
Well, even not at the show, you're sitting on the patio
Right.
at your place.
Well, here's the other
right
great
with
thing
the
about
dealership right there.
The other great thing about Colorado and our particular parking lot is we do have a Harley Davidson dealership.
Yeah.
We have a food and bar location, and we also have a marijuana dispensary. So
What?
That's right. Yeah, that's
if
right.
you can
I
imagine,
had no idea.
I heard about this. So, jokingly, when people show up from out of state or even out of country, they're like, this is the best dealership in the
I'm
world.
saying,
What is this place? This is like
One-stop shopping.
it's
like
like
Disney World.
Welcome to Colorado.
It's like, hey, you want to go to the bar? It's like, what, 20 feet?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think I can do that.
I think we do
But
that.
then on the back side of the dealership itself, you've got that back patio, and the river is right there.
Literally
Yeah,
right
it's,
there.
And there's no rally behind you. You can't. The water's just loud enough to mute
Yeah.
almost everything behind you. It's not populated
Yeah.
back there, and so like if you need to like check out, and that's a really big thing when you're working these events.
Yeah.
Is finding a place where you can like have some peace for about 30 seconds. don't
You know
usually
what
have more
happens
than
a
that.
lot, and yeah, certainly this is a plug for the dealership, but you can buy a motorcycle from any dealer in the country, have it shipped to you, you can go pick it up. But what happens a lot at the Durango dealership is people will buy bikes there so that they can ride the $1 Million Highway or some of those rides down to the Four Corners before they take their bike home. And so some
There's
of
not a better way to start a story with your motorcycle.
that's
Yeah.
Doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so you see that a lot, and you see a lot of people come into our community to rent bikes because they've come from Europe and they're going to do a 30-day ride through the Southwest. And so we're in that part of the world. Like your access to the Four Corners, Arizona, the desert, the mountains, you're right there for all of that. So
One of the
even
first
dirt bikes, we love doing that too, right?
Yeah. One of the first rides I did with my father, a long 5,000 mile, was we went down through Cody, down the east side of the Rockies, down through the Four Corners into Arizona there, and then came up the west side through Durango, $1 Million Highway, through Silverton, all the way up back. I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah,
you can go from South Dakota, do that huge loop through you guys, and end up in
even like I said, if you come to town, we'll go for the ride. I'll do it. I'm happy to take the time to go do that.
Prove me wrong.
Give me an excuse.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Gee, I got to take my friends for a ride this Saturday. They came all the way.
Darn it.
So you were talking about an event that has nothing to do with motorcycling that you're a part of in Durango too. Does it happen in the off season? Is that one of the ways that you stay busy out there?
It's actually happening today.
I already knew that.
It's a 10-day event, so thank you for the lead-in. But there's a great winter carnival in Durango, Colorado. It's been going on for 43 years now, and I'm fortunate enough and I'm honored to be the president of that nonprofit. And it's one of those nonprofits that raises all the boats in the community for sure. And what we do is celebrate winter. And much like a rally brings an economic impact to a community in the off season, they actually planned this event 40 some years ago during the slowest 2 weeks of the year. And we're a ski area.
Right.
But those 2 weeks of the ski season are the slowest 2 weeks of the year for a tourist town. And lo and behold, 40 years later, this snowdown of Durango is now one of the busiest weeks of the year besides the motorcycle rally week, right? I mean, it's right there now and probably busier. And so busy that we kind of expanded it to a weekend before, which is happening now because the businesses have been so successful in hosting games. So everything from
beer plunging.
Beer pong, for example, spelling bees.
I already lost that one.
The kids have contests with their pets. I mean, there's 200 events in the community, and it's community. And the diversity in the motorcycle community, the diversity in our organization is similar, where it doesn't matter what you do in the community. If you're a church people, you have kids in school, you're a college student, you're retired, this particular event, everyone participates in it. And so that's a really cool thing too. And people see those events in our community and yours, I'm sure the same ways. It's a good party, it's a good time. But it does a lot of good for the business, and it trickles down. And so the economic impacts you guys have on your communities and our community, that's behind the scenes stuff that we don't always get to share with people, right? And it's kind of, I didn't set out to make everybody a bunch of money in this, but if we do it right, we do, right? We set it up for everybody in a good way. And we've really tried to keep the tent open, meaning you don't have to go start something to compete with us just because we're doing something. Come under our umbrella. We'll give you our rights to naming or something like that. If you're a nonprofit, drive a truck through this somehow, if we can help you, right?
That's awesome.
One question I have about the events, because you said there's something for everybody there. I haven't seen it, but seen photos of it. Is that when ski joring happens?
Ski joring was an event in the Snowdown catalog many years, but as the weather patterns have changed, we don't have as much snow in downtown Colorado guaranteed every year that week. And the Silverton community, which is kind of halfway on the $1 Million Highway, they've really taken it on. They've been great supporters of that ski joring, and they're set up great for that.
Can you explain what that is?
So ski joring refers to a skier being pulled behind a horse. So there'll be a rider on horseback with a rope, kind of, water skiing style.
Stuff we did on skateboards, bicycles.
Different communities will have a different version of it. In Durango, there'll be a drag race with 2 horses and skiers behind on ropes, and they'll have to go over a series of jumps. Pretty good sized jumps. So it's a drag race with skiers and jumps. And these aren't easy jumps. These are 5-foot high jumps on flat ground. So these are.
It's awesome.
There's a lot of wrecks and things like that. But that was one of the original Snowdown events.
Very fun.
Very fun. But some of those events, just because of lack of snow, like we used to have a really great snow sculpting contest. not always possible every year.
Yeah.
But other 200 events, literally there's events for kids, there's events in the bars.
Yeah.
Like there's one just a fashion show, people dressing up in stupid themed costumes. There's a theater show where it's kind of like SNL skits. They call it a Follies event.
Yeah.
There's of course all the bars and restaurants have something going on. The ski area does some stuff. So everyone in the community is encouraged to do something in their business, host some kind of activity.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know of a lot of parades that happen at night in the United States, but we actually have a nighttime parade that starts at 6 p.m. on a Friday night, and it's a light parade.
Nice.
And it goes about an hour long. And
I love parades.
it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, you think, a venue, an amphitheater with a bunch of people in it, motorcycles is rowdy. You put 12,000 people in a 10-block place on Main Street in Durango, Colorado.
When you
get some similar feelings on your neck when you're walking around. Like,
brought
this
up
is
the
dicey.
ski touring at night. Prior to becoming a lawyer, I was a ski bum.
Yeah, okay,
in,
you know the vibe.
Beaver Creek, and they're like, hey, it's New Year's Eve. We're gonna light off fireworks. All right, guys, get up on the hill, and here, hold these flares.
Yeah, it's
and you're gonna have to jump at the end there. And you're like, what? Wait, all right, here we go. Like, pitch black.
What could go wrong?
No idea. Yeah, and like, woo! And managed not to fall. And I'm like, all right, that was we succeeded. Nobody died.
Yeah.
But I had like this massive torch next to my face. Like, yeah.
And like in our community, you see a lot of the same volunteers and people that work behind the scenes in a lot of these events, right? So I have some people that help me with both events straight up, right? Because they kind of like doing it. They like being part of the circus, right?
You're responsible for it. There's something cool about that. I know you go up to the Black Hills regularly whenever it's not festival time, and you're there for like what, August and September, you said?
July and August.
July and August.
Yeah.
So what are you up to for the other months? Is it all more behind the scenes work focused on Buffalo Chip, or do you have another side of Daymon?
No, yeah, we're focused. Yeah,
I mean,
I'm the executive.
that you're focused on.
I'm the executive vice president of the Buffalo Chip,
Wow,
which
that's
is
a
really
lot
just
of
a
syllables.
fancy way of saying
You do all the shit. You do it all. That's what
I'm
it's
a fluffer.
Someone else gets credit.
Actually, I'm a fluffer. My job is to put smiles on people's faces, and year-round, that is marketing. We're releasing bands year-round. So we just released Theory of a Dead Man like yesterday.
Rad. I did not realize
Jelly
that.
Roll, Kid Rock.
so
I mean,
fun.
as we confirm them, we market them and push them out all year round. So there's a team of of 20 of us working year-round, and that's what. I mean, it's building sponsorships,
I feel like there's a
sponsor
scoop here.
activations.
Yeah.
What's the rest of the lineup?
That's right. Yeah.
I was about to say that. So what is the lineup that you can announce that you may already have?
Yeah.
Jelly Roll, we were fortunate enough to announce him the day after he won the Country Music Award,
That's cool.
Artist of the Year,
Wow, that's
like
amazing.
the day after,
Yeah.
which was pretty cool. And then he went on to get Grammys, and now you see him everywhere. We had him, but now you see him on every billing everywhere.
Yeah.
Kid Rock, Theory of a Dead Man. We haven't announced it yet, but I'll just do it here. Hinder,
awesome.
and then we've got. I think that's all we've announced so far. Oh no, Travis Tritt and Aaron Lewis for the country side of things.
Cool.
Yeah, and then we've got a ton more coming, but we don't have them
Great.
confirmed.
Yeah.
And
As soon
where
as
can
I
they
say 'em.
find all this information? Like, where do they go?
BuffaloChip.com. Yep.
Instagram, Facebook. What else?
At
all
Sturgis
the
Buffalo
things.
Chip is the handle. At Sturgis
Yeah.
Buffalo Chip.
Cool.
Yeah.
How about for you guys?
Well, Instagram and of course Facebook. Four Corners Motorcycle Rally is how you find us, and it's fourcornersmotorcyclerally.com as well.
Nice.
So on Instagram you can find us both ways that way. Yeah.
So I have to. I know it's going long, but I have to tell you. So I have a Kid Rock story. So I used to concert promote when I was in college, and I get married in Oklahoma, in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's the end of summer, and we're everybody's staying in the Ramada, and we're having like this after party, and Kid Rock was in the hotel, and we're coming up the elevator. Next thing I know, I run into, he's got the same manager that I've worked with. I can't remember his name, was Dog or something like that years ago. I don't remember anymore.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, we're all partying with Kid Rock and the Midget, and it's just like in the bar, and it's just freaking madness. And people are like, what is going on? And like, the people are naked in the pool. And like, it was just hilarious.
I also have a
Hilarious
Kid
party.
Rock story. It's totally different. Like wildly opposite to that.
Yeah.
Like he's famous for his music and all that. When you get to see him interact with people on, like, in the not wild scene, so I was emceeing at the Harley Davidson Museum for Milwaukee Rally, and he was headlining at the festival grounds. But he comes back to the museum, and it's super chill. I mean, it's nighttime there. I mean, the restaurant's open.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what's happening. People are just being chill at the museum. And Kid Rock is back by himself, basically, sitting in the chair, strumming, singing.
Cool.
For like 4 people. Having a great time. This is how he enjoys himself.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? Love his music, live by his music, don't care about his music, however you feel about it. That was pretty cool to see. Like,
Yeah, that's cool.
I really appreciated that moment, getting to watch that. I would also appreciate the moment that you had, though.
It was hilarious. Because I sit next to, like, anyway, you heard enough.
Midgets and naked pool parties.
It's hilarious.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of entertainment value there.
Thank God my in-laws never heard anything. Oh, darn it.
Damn it.
You can get all of those things at the Buffalo Chip.
That's right.
Hopefully you've built up some equity.
It's 25 years ago. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think we made it.
Okay.
But that's the fun stuff, though, right? Like
Yeah.
when you go to a Buffalo Chip or a rally and you get to run into people, right? And
Right.
you never know who you're running into. And they're not there to be famous. They're there for the bikes too, right? And so it's
Yeah.
kind of fun to just have that in common with people, whether they're famous or not.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool just to see a guy like that being cool.
Yeah.
Right, that's right. Well, gentlemen, we really appreciate it. Thanks for
fun.
sharing
Yeah,
stories.
thank you.
Yeah, totally fun. Keep up the good work. I want to hear some, whatever's coming next, jumping something or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Keep having this guy interview people. I was happy to have him come
Yeah.
snag me.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I really
great.
appreciate it.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
and
And thank you
too.
for all you guys do in the industry. Like, I mean, it takes everybody, like
Yeah.
we were saying. So thank you.
No,
You play your role. You play your role. Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
All right, we
Thank you.
decided that we think we're awesome. And thanks for checking out another episode of Chasing the Ride with Rider Justice, joined by Daymon Woodruff and Chip Lile of Buffalo Chip and Four Corners Motorcycle Rally, respectively. I am still Dumptruck. That is still Scott O'Sullivan. And enjoy the rest of your day.